Hello. Okay, posting a story on Pronounce is probably the most complicated thing you'll ever need to do on it, but as it's the main feature of the site, the main purpose, it's something you will need to be confident how to do. So I'm just going to talk you through exactly how you go about it and show you step by step how you post a story. There's two ways of reaching this particular form. You can go to your newsroom and you'll see it's the first option there, post a story, or indeed anywhere in the client area, top right, you've got a button that will take you to exactly the same place. So this is post a story. The first thing you need to decide is where the story is going to go from, and you click here for a drop down. And these are the companies that you've set up. They may be client companies, or in my case, they're different publications which I control. And this particular story is a motoring story, so I'm going to pick Independent Forecourt magazine, which deals with motoring. The next option down is type, and you've got quite a large selection here that you can choose from. I would think for most stories, press release is going to be the favourite, but as I say, there's a good choice here to suit pretty much most needs. And if there isn't one to suit, you can just click other. But for this, I'm going to click press release. So then we come down to the title. You can type this in, or you can actually copy and paste. I'm just going to paste it in. So there's our title. And the next and probably most important thing, of course, is the body text. This is the main text for your story. And let me just copy that. I'm copying it from Word at the moment, so I've got that ready. And to paste it, I'm just going to hold down the Control and click the V button. And you'll see Pronounce says the text you want to paste seems to be copied from Word, which it is. Do you want to clean it up before pasting? And I'm going to click OK, because the site will then automatically clean up that text so that it displays correctly, both on this site but also on all the different platforms that we actually distribute your story to. Next one along is an abridged version. You don't have to do this, and to be honest, not many people do these days, but it's not a bad idea, and it is quite easy to create an abridged version. But I'll talk about that in a separate broadcast. So for now, we'll leave that one blank. And tweet text. This is purely for Twitter, because obviously Twitter limits it down to 140 characters. So if you do have a particularly long title, you can shorten it here so that it's going to display correctly on Twitter. But for most stories, you probably don't need to bother. And if you leave it blank, the site will just sort it out itself. And then we come down to what might look the most complicated part. And this is where you can pick exactly when the story will go and who it goes to. So the first option here, release to media. This is when your story will go out to all our media contacts via email. It will also be displayed here in the client area from the client feeds. So that's displaying it to the media. Next one down is broadcast date, and this is when it goes onto our public site, and it also starts its journey on all our different social media platforms. So those are the two choices for when the story is posted. With some stories, you may wish to set an embargo date. There's various reasons for doing this, and if you do need to, you can simply put the time and date in there, and the story won't go to the general public until that embargo date is clear. And then the final one here, drop-off date. Some stories that you post may be related to a particular story that's happening, and obviously if it was something like a fate, once that fate's actually happened, there's very little point in people promoting it. So you may wish to set a drop-off date there. But for the majority of stories, you can probably just click on broadcast as soon as possible, and then you'll see 2 of those options disappear straight away. You can still set an embargo date or a drop-off date if you wish. And then we click on next. The other thing to show you, there is a progress bar here, and you'll see it gradually lights up as you go through the process. We're on the second one now, boilerplates and editor's notes. Boilerplates, a lot of people don't bother with them these days, but it's not a bad idea at all. It's just giving the editor slightly more information, which if they want to, they can use in the story. The easiest way to think of a boilerplate is it's like the about page on your website. So it's just giving some more information on the story for the editor to use if they wish. And there you are, I've just put that in there to do with Triumph, which is what the story is about. And the next one down, notes to editor. This is, as the name suggests, it's just extra information for the editor of any publication, and it tends to be your contact details. It can be captions for the images that you've added or the documents that you referred to. It's just a little extra information for them, but the most important thing is probably your contact details. And then we click on next. And again, as you see, the progress bar there is gradually going along. We're on categories now. This particular story, I happen to know would be of interest to bloggers, so I'm going to click blogs. It's also a motoring story, so I'm going to click motoring. And I think it would be of interest to men in particular, so I'm going to click that one. And then we're going to click on next again. Now from those categories that we've just selected, you need to pick which you think is the main one. And for this, I think it's motoring. And again, click on next. So we're getting through those items there on the progress bar, and we're now on to main image. Here you can actually drag and drop images or files into this box here, or I tend to just click anywhere in the box, and it brings up the option here. I normally save images and files to my desktop, and then obviously you can delete them once you've used them. Well, let's upload that one. There you go. There's only one image with this particular story, but there it is, and it's got a tick, so it means it's gone up correctly. This here is your image archive. So every picture that you add to a story here on Pronounce goes into your image archive, and if you wish to, you can actually add them here just with a click. But for this one, that image there is all that we need. And then you just select the main image. Well, obviously there's only one image with this, so that will be the main image. You can set a caption here if you wish for the image, and then we click on next. And now all you need to do is position this so that it's going to display correctly both on this site but also on all the different social media that it will go out to. So there's various boxes here. You just need to make sure that it's showing correctly for each one, and you'll see each one is for different things. This one here is Twitter, so let's make sure that one's right. And the final one is Pinterest, which is, as you see, portrait. So again, you just make sure that's displaying correctly and click on next. And now you're on the basically the final page. So this is the overview. It's telling you how much the stories cost. I'm actually on a free account, so it's telling me it's free. Once you're happy with all the details there, you can view the terms and conditions if you haven't read them previously. And once you're happy with those, you click on Agree Terms and Conditions. And then to post the story, you'll see it's here. Here it's telling me no payments required. If your payment plan already covers this story, then you'll get that same message. If you do need to pay, if you're on pay as you go, then once you click complete the order, it will bring up a credit card payment screen, and you just run through that and make the payment, and your story will go live. So that story I actually scheduled to go a little earlier today. I've just put this up just to show you how it works. So let's go to the client feeds now and see if indeed that story has appeared. And yes, it has. There you see, that's the story we've just posted together, and it's showing me all the details. It's already worked out how many words it is, how many paragraphs. It knows there was only one image, and all the rest of the detail here. And let's view the full release. This is in the client area, of course, so you get all the detail here. So there's the image, the full text. You've got the notes to editor, and finally the boilerplate. So that's all the information that anyone could need to use that story. And if they do wish to use it, they'll just click on download, and they'll get a file through with all of that information contained. Okay, so that's how you post.